E. Ah.
To the wall. To the wall.
To the window. To the window.
Who goes next? There's no rehearsal here, folks.
Yeah, none.
Was sweat dripping
down your round circular devices
of male anatomy?
Yes.
We, of course, are talking about the movie The Proposal. I mean, you got that, right? People listening, watching, you understood what we meant at that beginning?
It was almost exactly what happened in the film.
Only way different. And Betty White was there.
We can't replicate Betty White here.
No, we can't. I could make a joke about the producer possibly replicating Betty White, but I think that, that'd be a bad... We both might end up like buried in the backyard or something.
There's a good chance. But The Proposal.
We're up to a good start.
That's right. Nonstop fun.
This was a movie that had a lot of great stars in it.
Yeah, it did.
It's a rom-com.
Oh yeah. I love rom-coms.
They're pretty fun.
They
really
sucker.
are. Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Movies. The average person can be inspired by them. They can make us laugh. Movies can keep us on the edge of our seat and so much more. Maddie's Movie Mix is a podcast for movie enthusiasts of all kinds. We hope you enjoy the show.
Wait. Matt Logan!
Yes, we both had the same problem. You.
Listen. You smell something?
Yippee-ki-yay. This is Tyler Peterson. I think they're so fun because a lot of times they're so ridiculous that they're just fun to watch.
Right. It's like that would not happen in real life.
Yeah. I remember watching The Vow for the first time with my mom. And normally I like rom-coms because like, oh, this is ridiculous. This would never happen. And like the ending is always happy and cheerful and everyone's happy. And then The Vow, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm sad. But The Proposal did not make me feel that way at the end.
No, for sure. This is done in 2009. I'm sure everybody, has heard of it. There's going to probably be spoilers. But it's a 2009 film. Sorry.
And if you haven't heard of it, get your head out of the hole
and
go watch it.
Go watch it.
It is so good.
But after you listen to the podcast.
That's right, because we want to make sure you know you're getting into.
Yeah, we do appreciate you, by the way. $40 million budget, $317 million worldwide box office.
It's good for a rom-com.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Profit.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives them some money to do some bad films that bomb, right?
That's right. And how else would the rom-com world function if we didn't have certain hits that then allowed for other ones to just be crap? I feel like rom-coms are just like a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
It's like we're getting into the Christmas season, right?
Yeah.
And now we're getting all of these nice Hallmark Christmas movies coming out.
They're nice?
I think they're nice.
Okay. I think they're like... I'm a pretty corny person. Like, my jokes are corny and some of my thinking is corny, and I really understand and get that. But come on, some of these like Hallmark quote unquote films are really beyond corny.
Oh my gosh, they're terrible. They're so bad.
Yeah.
But it's Christmas.
That's true. It's like Christmas music. If you had to listen to it all year, it would be awful.
Well, there's some places that we can disagree on things. I could listen to Christmas music all year round.
Can't do it.
When the movie Shazam came out in April,
yes,
and it was basically a Christmas film,
yes,
I was like, this is fantastic.
I know.
Let's just get funny Shazam movies all year round where we can keep Christmas music alive.
That's a little different scenario, but in the film like that. But so here's why. What's a new Christmas song?
Oh, there's absolutely none.
Zero.
Yeah.
Like, was Mariah Carey's the newest in like 2000?
Yeah, but she comes out with the same songs every year.
Yeah, but like a new, like remember, I don't even remember what it is now. I don't know how we got it on Christmas music here, but it was a pretty new Christmas.
Yeah.
Pretty original.
Michael Bublé his was all songs that we've heard a million times.
Right.
And I could listen to a million times more.
See, I can't do that. I need some of that new. I mean,
it's beginning to look a lot.
Yeah,
like
I mean, how
Christmas.
many versions of that can you actually have?
Everywhere you go.
Okay,
prettiest.
I'm cutting you off. Turn his mic off. Turn it off.
All right,
kidding.
Grinch.
No, I get it. I just don't. I just can't. I can't do it. It's, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. I mean, how many times can you listen to that? For myself, not that many. Well, it's funny.
Oh my gosh, you got Pentatonics, you got Michael Bublé, I could listen to this, basically those on repeat. And Megan will tell you that, and she'll tell you that she hates Christmas music.
See, I don't hate the music. I just hate that there's nothing different. It's all the same.
That's because Christmas music figured it out the first time you started writing it. They didn't need to make new songs because it's Christmas.
Yeah. Well.
But this is a rom-com.
We will have to part ways on this agreement here. It's not going to happen.
Well, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
That was new.
But how old is that now?
Is that 98?
Probably. Yeah. So I rest my case. For 20 years, there's been nothing new. New versions. Pentatonics is brilliant. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Frozen's considered Christmas.
They did. I didn't know that. That's
they did on their Christmas album. They had a Frozen song.
Oh. You're stretching.
Let it go.
You're stretching this pretty thin.
If there's snow involved, it's Christmas.
Yeah. Sound of Silence. They did Pentatonics. I think did that too.
Yeah, they did.
I'm pretty sure.
So
I heard
good.
That's really good.
I like Disturbs. Did you hear Disturbs?
Disturbs is really good. I listen to that on repeat.
Oh my gosh.
All year long, just like Christmas music.
Which clearly has a deep connection to rom-coms. You've seen one, you've seen most of them.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty great cast, though. I mean, Sandra Bullock. I mean, if anybody's ever heard of her, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of new.
You might get blindsided.
Ryan Reynolds. Dun-dun-dun. Sorry.
The true Canadian.
Craig T. Nelson, of course, Coach. Betty White. I mean, you just can't go wrong.
No.
Oscar Nunez. Oscar Nunez.
Oh my gosh.
Seen anything else?
I think he was on a TV series.
Yeah, TV, right? That's what I thought I remembered too. But fun movie.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Very rare was there a dull moment. Did you know that? So Sandra Bullock wasn't the initial person they wanted to cast for Margaret's character. Did you read that?
I didn't.
Do you know who Julia Roberts is who was initially planned. And fun fact, going down that rabbit trail, so there was two films, both The Blind Side and The Proposal. Both of those wanted to cast Julia Roberts. And
I knew that about The Blind Side.
Yeah, but Sandra Bullock got both of them, and I think both of them were. I love Julia Roberts. Don't get me wrong, but I think Sandra Bullock fits the character better.
She fits the character better in The Proposal, no question.
Right,
no question at all. The Blind Side, I don't know. I think Julia Roberts could have done that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I really do. I think that Mila Jovovich should probably do most characters as a female role. Personally. Yeah. I mean, I really like Mila Jovovich is all I'm saying. But she does really well in Resident Evil. Anyway, yeah. No, I didn't know that.
You know how many puppies were cast? How many different dogs played Kevin?
I mean, how many of them died, I guess, is the question.
Got taken by that eagle?
Yeah. Of course, you will know the answer to that one.
I did. I would not tell you a fact or I was like, what? I really expected you to know the answer. There was 4 of them.
Really?
Yeah. Fleury, Sitka, which is funny because that's the town that they're in.
Yeah.
Nanu and
Really?
which I thought was funny because this movie isn't long. I also thought Kevin was just a hilarious name for it.
A dog named Kevin.
But yeah, I was surprised. I was like, why did this? I guess it was a puppy. It was an American Eskimo. I guess I am around dogs quite a bit.
Yeah.
And American Eskimos, my wife's grandma, she used to have American Eskimos. Not that I ever saw them. But I don't think they get very big.
I didn't think so either. And so, I mean, a film like this, how many weeks did it take for filming the whole entire movie?
Right.
Couldn't have been more than like 6 or 8.
Yeah, and Kevin's not even in all of them.
No.
Even though he should have been a main character.
I agree. I mean, they should have written a script around Kevin.
That's right.
That was pretty funny, though.
Yeah, it was.
I
my
really
gosh.
enjoyed that.
Don't leave the door open. Otherwise, Kevin's going to get taken by eagles. All right, Grandma.
Yeah, good stuff. I had not seen this film before. Even though it's a 2009, I'd seen parts of it.
Yeah.
I had just never sat down for the whole thing. So I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I still didn't sit down for the whole thing at once. I'm not going to lie.
You broke it up?
I broke it up simply because I decided to start watching it when I was super exhausted.
Okay.
And I had to get up early. Like, I can't even say early. It was in the middle of the night. So, yeah, I was like, it's good, but I need some sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I came back and finished it. I'll probably watch it again.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's fun.
Worth the watch.
Yeah. It'd be fun to like watch this, sitting around a fire.
Yeah.
And stuff. So.
And then you really could get the chant going.
Exactly.
I love that chant. My gosh. Part of being an actor, like, you have to do ridiculous things. But, like, I just couldn't ever imagine, like, they're playing characters, but still they're going, like, Sandra Bullock goes all in, where she is dancing and doing things that could have been, she really made twerking famous before Miley Cyrus. She was doing the same moves. But
Yep. I mean, that's probably where Miley got it.
I mean,
she just relabeled it.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, that's such a good point. And I make comments like that all the time while I'm watching it. I'm like, how can they actually do this scene without totally dying laughing?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the crew around them, they've got to be just like going crazy.
Well, they did they did a lot of, like, they moved this, like, they did different transitions to shots quite a bit in that scene. So I'm wondering if they had to take a few different times of being able to capture the whole thing.
Sure. Yeah, probably.
Oh my gosh. But Betty White, I'm sure she could have stayed straight faced the whole time. And to be fair, her character could have been, like, part of the thing was her being mesmerized of what Margaret was doing.
Right. I thought I was pretty happy with so it takes a lot of courage to do what Sandra Bullock's character did at the end, especially because she was so, Margaret was such a powerful woman.
Right.
Really well respected
Yeah.
as an editor in that world. And
Yeah.
she just risked it all at the end by being vulnerable and just showing, like, hey, I decided I am a human.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have this. My parents died young, when she was young. And so I thought that was pretty good how they did
brilliance
that.
of rom-coms.
Yeah.
People have those.
But some of them can pull them off and some of them can't.
Exactly.
And
I agree with that.
They did pull it off. She pulled it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to get a tissue.
Oh, did you?
No.
Oh my gosh. Twists and turns. You get me.
I was moved,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to get a tissue. I was moved though.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool
was
that
believable.
they didn't even do like when she was on the plane, like they didn't turn it around. They were like, "Yep, sorry, it's gone."
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so then, I mean, they still did the whole romantic thing of like, let's go through the office.
Right.
And, Margaret, shut up.
Yeah, I
have
know.
things to say.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
We would be remiss to not talk about Ramon.
Ramon.
So they're on an island. The last half of the film or whatever, most of the last half, they're on an island in Alaska.
Very remote parts. I'm assuming you've been to Alaska.
I haven't actually.
You
That's
haven't
one
been
of the, Yeah.
You
can
know where
believe
I've
it?
been? I've been to Alaska.
What? Minnesota and Alaska.
If it's cold, I'll go there.
See, that's why I haven't been to Alaska. I'm not a big fan of the cold weather.
Oh my gosh.
So
Well,
I would love to go though. So one of my aunts went on a cruise, an Alaskan cruise.
That's
and
why we
just
went.
Said it was incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. But
Yeah.
one of the things that I learned from that cruise is that, travel by car is incredibly, they don't have the infrastructure for cars.
Right.
And so a lot of places.
Well, they can't build the roads hardly.
Right. Exactly.
Because of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I thought that was where they did have to fly by
Mm-hmm.
seaplane and stuff like that, which is something that you do in Alaska because they don't have the infrastructure to drive from place to place.
Yeah. No, that's cool. But anyway, Ramon. He boy,
He stole the show.
He did really. I mean, he is jack of all trades, master of none. Is that the saying?
I think that's it. And he has no lack of confidence.
No.
He
Is
is.
it confidence you'd call that, or
That's what
something
I would
else? Craziness?
They go alongside each other sometimes.
So he's a I don't know. I guess he might not be a pastor, but he
Can officiate.
can officiate a wedding. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable. Ramon also, I mean, he takes care of the cell phones at the general store. He's kind of running that show.
That's right. He knows how to take clothes on and off.
He is. That was a great scene of stripping.
He took those clothes off.
Oh,
And let me tell you, Margaret's character looked very excited about that.
that's one of those scenes again that it would be like, what? I could not hold it together.
No.
I mean, I could not hold it together.
My gosh. Yeah, her hands being down and like, maybe that's what helped is that she legitimately looked away because it was like, I don't want to deal with what's going on.
Right. Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I mean, Ramon's character, he does phones and everything and has an infatuation towards Miss Margaret,
That's true.
which I thought was funny.
That was funny. That was good.
Because clearly he could have anyone on the island.
Yeah. Actor chemistry. Speaking of his courage.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, Ramon really got along with every character and seemed very authentic to himself. But the other characters were good too,
Yeah.
I would say. And so I gave it a 4.6. I really enjoyed all the different dynamics that were going on in the film because you had the parent or the son-father disconnect of where, Joe wants Andrew to take over his business, and Andrew's like, that's not where my passion is, Dad. I'm sorry. You
Do
have
we know what that business is?
just owning the whole town of Sitka.
The whole town. Yeah. That was a weird thing that I mean,
Yeah.
what
I'm not sure what he owned, but he looked over. He had his retirement plans figured out, but clearly, I don't know if he just bought enough. I really don't know what the business was besides just owning the town,
Yeah.
which seemed odd.
It did.
So yeah, that was odd, but there was that that wedge between that relationship, and then obviously the mom's character and the son just wanting to be connected with her son, but then the dad pushing something that he didn't want that caused that divide for her. I think he would have gone to New York no matter what, but because of that tension, it was definitely more separated than I think would have happened if it was more amicable. I liked how Margaret's character really began to open up with Andrew's character throughout the movie. It seemed authentic of how that relationship would progress. I mean, it's over a weekend. So again, I don't know in real life how quick those...
Thank God they have 19 hours of sun or whatever in Alaska, or 20 hours of sun, because they got a lot done.
They must...
But
they were there... What? Oh, I guess it was Grandma's birthday. I forgot what...
Yeah.
It wasn't a holiday. So yeah, they must have been there in the summer.
Right.
And they were prepared.
Yeah. But for the weekend...
Yeah.
They got a lot done.
I think it was an extent. It had to be 4 days.
Yeah, for sure, because they even flew in the guy.
Oh yeah.
They were
Mr. Gilbertson.
Yeah, they were gonna no, we're sending you back to Canada.
Did you see on his desk he had a U.S. citizenship for dummies?
I did not.
That was this is one I've seen this movie a few times, so I did some research before watching it again. And that was one of the things I saw. And so when I got to the scene of his desk, I was like, yep, there's definitely the U.S. Citizens for Dummies. And I thought that was funny.
That is funny. I missed it.
Yeah. So when you watch it again in the future,
I will.
Keep key eye on that.
Yeah.
The one relationship that I thought was interesting was Andrew and Grace's old girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah. Gertrude.
Oh,
I wrote down.
What is it? Grace. Oh, Grace is the mom. I apologize. Yeah, but Gertrude's character, I thought that was the only one that didn't fully make sense to me.
Okay, I agree with that up to the part after the ceremony where Margaret comes clean.
Yep.
Says, I'm basically a bee with an itch. And we negotiated a deal because I'm a bee with an itch. And then the ex comes in and says, basically, look, I know you love her. I can see that. That then made sense. Everything other than that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I think they had to develop the character just so that she could come in and say, hey, you're not admitting it to anybody else or yourself, but I can see it. You love Margaret.
Yeah.
Right?
It's still a weird conversation to have with an ex, especially one that...
There would be no ex I would have a conversation
right?
like that with.
For you, that made sense. For me, I was like, I don't understand in what realm this would ever happen. I felt like if the mom came in, that would make more sense. And so... Gertrude...
And it made sense in the way that she knew him very well.
That's true.
And knew what that would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, I felt like I wish they would have played off of that relationship more. Of you could tell that Andrew still had feelings for her a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could have gone a little bit more with that of you see a little bit of jealousy from Margaret's character, but I think they could have gone more into that. Or just, I understand why her character was there, but at times it felt forced too much.
Yeah, no, I agree. Totally. I think they needed to have, there's a couple places I think they needed to have her character. But other than that, they
could have substituted with Ramon.
They absolutely could have. And if you've seen the film, you'd understand what we're laughing about.
Mr. Andy.
So where are we at? What do you give it?
Did
you tell me yet?
I think so.
Because I forgot then. We're talking about all this fun stuff, and I forgot what point.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.6.
4.6.
I liked it. Besides Gertrude's character, I thought a lot of the relationships were believable, and I really like Ryan Reynolds typically plays a sarcastic character.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. And I thought
it's just natural for him. I think.
Oh my gosh!
Right? Because
you just see that's what he does.
Exactly.
And I thought that personality fit well with Margaret's personality, where because of the goofiness started breaking down. Well, you remember the scene where Andy was asking, I forget what song it was, but like, how does that song go? Or like, Andy's saying, how does that song go? And then she begins to open up, and he's like,
yeah.
And then he later goes,
when she was kind of getting real personal with him.
And then he just belts it out.
And then
if I could remember the lyrics, I would sing it. But yeah, it was a nice falsetto that Mr. Reynolds provided.
That was pretty funny. So actor chemistry, I was trying to figure out a couple of things. I thought Craig T. Nelson was a little bit. There was several scenes that I thought, as powerful of a figure he was in the family, he was very disconnected.
He seemed very self-focused.
Yeah, and self-focus is a good one.
That disconnected. He had a plan for what he wanted everyone to do. And because, Andy split off, caused tension not only between him and Andy, but it seemed also between, Grandma Annie and his wife Grace, because he was so focused on that where, there was absolutely a disconnect.
Yeah, and so I understood it, but I thought that some of the scenes, he didn't do it didn't seem like a natural thing. I guess, I don't know. I'm not really sure how to explain it, other than there was just some times that I thought he was like more disconnected in his mind than anything.
Yeah.
He wasn't even into the acting part of it, I guess. But anyway. And then, so I gave it a 3.9. That's part of the reason I didn't think, I think he could have done a little bit better job personally, and he just didn't seem to get along. It didn't seem as natural of chemistry. Yeah. With him and some of the other actors, but
he wasn't in a ton of scenes though either.
No, he wasn't, and that's why I thought it should have been better.
Yeah,
personally. But that's where I'm at. We've talked a lot about all the other actors and different things already, but that brought it down a couple tenths of a point for me with him. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Location. Are we going to go right down the line again? Yeah, filming location. I liked the office buildings in I haven't been to New York because I guess it does get cold, but
it does.
It's a big city, and
it's not like here, like in Minnesota where we're at cold though.
Yes. Movie was based off of Sitka, Alaska. Most of the shots were done in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did a good job of still making it feel like Alaska. I guess I don't know. I didn't look up Rockport. But it felt like an isolated. You had the mountains still that they were able to establish. They had, they still had to go in by plane, both to Juneau and then to Sitka, which made a lot of sense. And they were right alongside the water, which makes sense if that's where their town was located. So I gave it a 4.3. It was believable. Nothing seemed over the top. The town, for better or for worse, just seemed like a town. Like, I don't know if that small of a town is going to have a place that Ramon can do what he's doing.
Well, that's why he's got to do it all.
That's right. One-man show.
That's right. And he's clearly the only man on the island, it would seem.
The native island man.
Yeah. I matched you. I'm 4.3 on filming locations. I did look up where they filmed, or I saw, when I was reading some other things, I should say, I saw that they filmed in near Boston.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with a lot of the areas, they look so similar anyway.
Right.
So there's no reason to not believe that's where they are.
Yeah.
So I like that. They did a good job with it.
Yeah.
For sure. And then New York was New York. I mean,
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
And they weren't even in the city too much besides
like
in
the
Margaret
building.
proposing.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Another one. So yeah, I mean, they did it. It was natural.
Yeah.
It was all. It looked like it was supposed to look in my mind, and that was great. So the fancy cinematography.
It was pretty simple shots. I mean, they didn't really do anything. Again, that's rom-coms. I mean, it's relationship focused. I mean, it's not like an action film where you're trying to do big explosions or things like that. And
the thing with the cinematography on a film like this for me that I would watch for more is how whether it's super light or dark or anything like that, and they didn't screw that up.
No. All the lighting seemed really natural.
Yep.
I liked talking about Alaska when Margaret was having issues sleeping.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I can't get it." And then Andrew just pushes the button and the curtains close and it was pitch black. I thought that was funny. So yeah, I gave a 4.4. I mean, this film, for better or for worse, you don't have to do much to make it look good.
Right. Did I say 4.1 yet?
You did not.
Okay.
You did now.
Yeah, now I did. 4.1 cinematography.
Yeah.
I mean, it was believable.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bright, wasn't too dark.
Yep.
So they made you never know with some of these locations like how much of it's a set without really digging into it. But
right.
When you're just viewing pleasure-wise, how much of it was a set, how much of it was real. I felt like a lot of it was real locations, so that's good.
Right.
I mean, it felt right.
Yeah.
On screen. So like when it the bedroom.
Yeah.
Huge bedroom, by the way.
Yeah.
Crazy, but
that wasn't even the master.
I know. So that was really believable though. Like it was set up as like a little like an efficiency apartment almost, I suppose you'd call it.
Yeah.
So that was cool and believable, and the colors looked right. So that's why we're there.
The one shot is when Kevin gets stealed by the bird. I mean, it's a rom-com, so I mean, if that were to happen in real life, let me tell you, that dog would not be white anymore.
That is exactly. Yes.
And so I thought that, I mean, again, that was a humor side of things, so I think it worked well for that purpose. But and then when she's carrying Kevin around, and then the bird takes the phone, and then you see Margaret's character just holding Kevin up, saying, "Sacrifice the dog,
right,
give me my
for the
phone."
Right.
And Grandma Annie and Grace are looking out and just like, what in the world are they doing?
They think that they're like she's playing with Kevin.
That's right. That's what it is.
See the eagle, right? They just are looking out this picture window and they only have this scene.
Yeah,
that was funny.
And then they play off later that Kevin hates Margaret.
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes sense.
Right. Costume design. My red dress was here.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Was it the white dress?
What white dress?
The wedding dress?
Yes.
Yeah.
That brought, that uniqueness in costume for me. I always like to see that one thing.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
Yeah, and I liked how it really fit into the story well of how that dress came to be.
Yes. Super funny and touching. And
quite literally touching.
I was, yep.
They have to be under here somewhere.
And Betty White's the only one that can get away with that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
She's like, I don't know if I should say it.
I was a little more filled out.
Exactly.
I'll find them under here somewhere.
I'll find them in here somewhere.
It's like an Easter egg hunt.
Right. It's like only Betty White. Only Betty White. Oh, that was so funny. So because of that particular scene, I gave it a 4.0.
Okay.
because the other, I mean, just normal clothes. It wasn't, costumes worked for where they were, but the wedding dress brought it up quite a bit for me. Good half a point at least.
Good half point. So one thing I read on this one is that as Margaret gets more comfortable, the thing they did to show that was that she went from a ponytail. I know nothing about women's hair besides it's called a ponytail. But as the movie goes on, it becomes more loose as she gets more comfortable and warm with the family, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yes.
Now it's a minor detail, but again, I wouldn't have noticed it without reading it. But they did pay attention to the detail at least. And you're right. That for the most part, it's just regular clothes. The family isn't super fancy. Like they make fun of New York for that, and so they just have their their button-up shirts and stuff like that. And even Andy, when he came home, went from suit to his homeware,
right?
Which I thought was a good choice because as much as Andy loves New York and his job, his personality does not fit in with being dressed up. So it makes sense when he got home and comfortable, he took off the suit.
Yep.
And so I enjoyed it. Again, it was the history behind the wedding dress and sometimes the lack of Ramon's costume. But yeah,
it wasn't a thong. Ramon didn't have a thong, so that's good.
What was it?
It wasn't a Speedo? Thong. Yeah, it was a Speedo.
Okay.
Yeah. I was checking out his...
I'll be honest. When it comes to menswear, I don't know the difference between a thong, or you got a thong, a banana hammock, and a Speedo.
Well, right, I guess, yeah. Anyway, you got to see the movie just for that scene. That was funny.
Oh, my gosh. It was something to behold.
Score the score.
I gave it a 3.5. It was your typical rom-com, nothing too spectacular. It was pretty minimal. It seemed like, the songs only had like 2 or 3, maybe 4 notes when they were doing their pieces. If you count, what Betty White sang, it'd probably go up to, if that's included, I wouldn't include in the score only because.
Why not?
Well, because when you think of the score, it's background focus.
I suppose.
And
I don't think of it quite the same way you do, though.
That's true.
But that makes sense.
And so, that was very intentionally. Most of the time, you can listen to a score and songs in a film; they're separate. And so, when Betty, to the wall, I guess that's more Sandra Bullock than Betty White. But I guess I wouldn't fully consider that part of the score. Maybe the drums in the background that then matched what was going on with what was going on the film. But yeah, it was nothing spectacular, and it didn't need to be.
I scored it at a 4.1 because a lot of it was just there.
Yeah.
And it was great. But what brought it up over a 4 for me were some of those unique scenes. Like, you were just talking about. So that's why I'm there. It was unique.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I thought it
couldn't be replicated by anyone else.
No. No. Overall entertainment value.
I gave it a 4.6.
Yeah.
As rom-coms go, it's one of the best if you're wanting a good blend of comedy and the romance.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny that Canadians is getting deported out of all, and it's funny too because Ryan Reynolds is truly the Canadian, and we talked about this again in Red Notice, but if you look at the background, Ryan Reynolds came from good old Canada.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was funny. But yeah, a Canadian getting deported and now is getting forced into this marriage. I also really enjoyed the post-credit scenes. Did you watch all of those?
Yes.
Or then, Ramon has parts throughout this whole film.
Yes.
And then the post-credit scene where he's like, "Are you a legal U.S. citizen?" And you're like, "Oh, why are we bringing that up?"
Right. That was funny.
Yeah.
Good balance for me. for this type of a film, I guess. I mean, there wasn't balance of everything of action and all that, but for a rom-com, 4.5, because it did have. I mean, it just had a lot of different things in it that made it very entertaining. Certainly would want to watch it again. So, not disappointed at all.
Good. And then, you were able to watch the whole thing.
Yes, exactly.
There's so much. I think there's one of the gifts that is famous is from Ryan Reynolds in this movie when he's on the airplane, disappointed in Sandra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty famous clip, I guess.
Yeah. That is. That's right. Yeah.
But I'll be honest.
It's not Jif?
No, that's a peanut butter.
Oh, okay. It's GIF? You say it GIF?
I say it GIF.
Oh,
I've heard it
is
both
that the
ways,
proper
though.
way?
Well, I think it's the proper way. There's debates. If you ever want to get lost in a rabbit hole, I'm sure you could watch about 10 hours on YouTube of people pronouncing it different ways.
I know, it's pretty crazy.
Jeff.
I think it's I would say GIF too.
Although Jeff's, I mean, when you spell Jeff like
There
G-E-O-U,
you can't, right.
The English language is not made to make sense. That's all I know.
Yeah, exactly. Overall rating.
Overall, I gave it a 4.4.
Wow.
This film, again, I'm a sucker for rom-coms.
Yeah.
I mean, the composer.
Wait till we get into doing some James Bonds and stuff. We'll see how that.
All 2.0. Just kidding.
Yeah, I know, right?
I do like James Bond. But again, there's some satisfaction that I find of like just absolutely cheesy things, but then people getting at the end being happy together and finding true love. It's just so sweet. And as rom-coms go, I think this has a unique story that you don't see in a lot of other films. They do a good job of blending the comedy with the romance of, joking around with it. So it's not something like, The Notebook where it's fully romance, I feel.
Yeah.
But and I like comedy, so that's why I think this one really does stand out compared to other ones.
Yeah, I agree. 4.1.
It's a good one.
So, yeah, I mean, it's right in there.
That's
it
right.
works.
That's right.
So go see it. Have fun with it.
Go do your rain dances outside.
Yeah, exactly. Do it in the summertime, because if you do the rain dance in the wintertime here in Minnesota, guess what you get? You get snow.
All over.
Yeah.
And you'll never be able to find
We've
Kevin.
had snow already.
Yeah, we have. It was disgusting.
It's a letdown.
Until Christmas. And then we can get back to I'm dreaming.
Of ending the podcast.
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.
So it's done.
It's done.